Vitamin E का super mix. अब बाल करें shine all the time with Sunsilk Black Shine.
ऑन ग्रेड इन्वर्टर, हाइब्रिड इन्वर्टर, लिथियम बैटरी की वसी रेंज इन्वरेक्स को बनाता है पाकिस्तान का नंबर 1 सोलर ब्रांड इन्वरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
जैज से मिले नॉन स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग के सुपर पावर।
तो अभी जैज की वीकली X+ ऑफर लगाओ और बेफिक्र होकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखो तमाशा पर।
And he'll be fired up as well. Pace and away from Conway. Taskin has been brilliant. Dot balls all the way up to this. Fuller and that movement in to Castle Will Young, a player coming off 100. Bangladesh up and about early. 2 slips in play. You can just hear them as well. There is an energy about Bangladesh. You liking that, Simon Doyle?
Yeah, watch them warm up prior to the game. And there's a lot of talk about 150, 151, 152 kilometres per hour. And I don't expect them to be getting anywhere near that pace today. And you shouldn't. Look at that wicket from a great cameraman hiding in the stumps. It's a brilliant bit of bowling, but yeah, just don't put pressure on this young man. Just let him go. He swings it away. He bowls with decent pace. .141, so expect him to get into the mid 140s. But he's a great talent, and a talent worth keeping an eye on.
9 deliveries, no runs as yet. We're talking about 181 dot balls that Bangladesh faced. Look at those opening stands as well. India a long way ahead. Low full toss, yep, and good dive, good hand on it, and has saved multiple runs, but New Zealand get their chase underway.
Said how important the fielding was for New Zealand. This was an outstanding piece of work. These are those throwdowns that you get in the morning. Hit him nice and hard. Some would say that's maybe should have fielded that, but geez, it's under light, and it's about a New Zealand temperature here at the moment, Dooley, isn't it? Although you do live in Dubai, so you wouldn't know.
What's New Zealand like nowadays?
Same as it's always been. Lovely to travel around. Produces good athletes.
Speaking of one good athlete, it's neither of us, is it, Dooley? But I like this field set. With having that gully in, it just means that Kane Williamson doesn't have as much confidence just to lay the ball off, try and get him driving. Got caught behind in the first game.
And almost caught behind the wicket again in the second, though he finds the gap and Williamson finds the boundary.
Well, that's the beauty of the soft hands, but it's a terrific delivery. It's good pace and bounce, and you see just that soft hands manages to keep it down enough. Great line and great length. If you're looking for Kane Williamson, that is the line and length you want to be bowling.
2 catches in play. Slip, gully.
Sunsilk Black Shine में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम with Sunsilk Black Shine. Try Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash. 3 super ingredients, 1 single dose. ये है 24/7 radiance का super formula. Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash. Love your skin.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, ज़ेन में आओ।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
Taskin. It's probably one of the arguments that we often have with coaching too, is that you probably want the best coaches in and around that sort of 15, 16 years of age, when all these questions are being asked, where you want to give them this really strong foundation.
I totally agree, and I know the money is not there with a lot of boards, and a lot of these, countries are taking on cricket as a newish sport, and even some of the older countries, more established, the money's not there to pay the coaches, but that's where they should be paid. By the time you get to this level, and we've both been there, we've all been there, it's more about man management than it is about genuine coaching. You should have learnt a lot of what you've got about you by the time you get to this level, and it's man management and fine-tuning.
Quite interesting, because Andre Adams, he's a Kiwi, he's the bowling coach for these guys, and he said a lot of his coaching now is just around tactical. There's nothing he can do too much in terms of technique and that. So tactically, how do you look at an over? How do you do it from the first phase to the second to the death?
That is just lovely. He had a couple of little practice runs getting onto the front foot. This time he goes with the flourish through the covers.
Strength of Devon Conway. When you see him play the ball late and through that cover point area, you know that he's found his timing. Very much sweating on those wider deliveries, likes to free his hands. I almost wonder the option around coming around and trying to angle into those stumps of the pan of Devon Conway has been a bit of a problem. His hands tend to push out. Good signs there for him.
Drags the length back a fraction, but Conway is up to the task, waits a little bit longer, hits it a little bit squarer, gets the same result.
Devon Conway, you pay to watch. Again, the foot movement is not dramatic by any stretch. He just opens himself up. The back foot goes away towards the leg side so that he can access that area, and just opens the blade. It's all about timing.
Squarish cover, point, and just backward of point, jam-packed there for Conway. Right of screen. Gives a little nod as well as he leaves that one. It's a brilliant first over from Taskin. Mr. Will Young too, he knew he was coming off the century. Had him coming forward and built up to this moment here. You dare almost any top order bat to try and defend something like that. Change of approach now around the wicket. And the punch off the back foot.
जैज से मिले नॉन-स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग के सुपर पावर।
तो अभी जैज की वीकली X+ ऑफर लगाओ और बेफिक्र होकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखो तमाशा पर।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
Right ingredients, right treatment, 100%. तो करें डैंड्रफ का सॉफ्टवेयर अपडेट with Hello Hair Anti Dandruff Shampoo. Dandruff 0%, confidence 100%.
They'll push hard and have a contemplate, just waiting for maybe a little fumble, but they'll stick with one. Well, I've seen your accreditation.
In the modern era, I mean, you probably know more about it than I do, but can't you filter things like that? Can't you get rid of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that's what my photo looks like. I don't have wrinkles. And then when you see in person, you think, holy dooly, what's going on there? I'll tell you what, when you take those ICC photos and you think, oh, this is going to be great, and the team eggs you on, and they say, do a funny face, and then it's there for history on the internet, you think, oh, good stuff.
Yeah, hurried up for a little bit of pace there, but 2 slips in play, and this is the support Shanto's giving the youngster. Almost saying to him, pitch it on and around those stumps, get that natural angle across the left hand to try and bring those slips into play.
One thing with Daryl Mitchell, with Devon Conway, is just that looseness that he has, that bottom grip. And naturally, because he's quite wristy in terms of the way he plays, but because he hits quite square, you typically think, well, got to be a strong bottom hand, you've got to press your bottom hand to hit it square, but he's very loose on that. That's why he does get sometimes those inside edges.
The edge to one of the best, and that's his first wicket in Champions Trophy, and what a wicket it is. It's Williamson gone, nicking behind.
That is the blueprint. That is what Andre Adams would have been talking about. 5th stump. Get Williamson coming forward, just playing outside his eye line. And Nairana has done exactly that. This is superb. Most deliveries have been coming in just a little bit. It's quite wide, a little bit of extra bounce, Williamson.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
Problems.
And you don't want to get strangled down the leg side. There was a noise. And if they're that excited and that keen, they've certainly got the option. And you just got to keep calm in situations like this, though, don't you? As much as you want the team to be up and about, don't waste a review.
Well, it was the only calm one on the field for the most part after the appeal was Rashad Hussain at second slip. He's just waving his hands, going, no, 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 no. It was off the pad.
Yeah, we all heard something. Big question was it bat or pad?
Unless you're saying everyone, just keep your heads a little bit here, please.
So the first time since 2017 that Kane Williamson has been dismissed in back-to-back single-figure scores. Don't bowl on the pads, though. It's a little bit of a gift to get his innings underway.
There's one of the bread and butter for Rach and Ravindra. I think the success New Zealand in that 2023 World Cup was very much the complementary nature of how he plays so well off his legs, where Devon Conway plays so well on the offside, so they complement each other really well. Some of these bowlers are going to have to understand what's your plan to one guy that is quite different to the other guy as well, and how do you execute. Just change of angle now coming around the wicket.
Well, those New Zealand flags I saw when they were bowling have disappeared. I think the Pakistan crowd here have certainly found their voice. They right behind Bangladesh here, a win over New Zealand, and Pakistan stays in the hunt for the semis. Around the wicket now. Yeah, gets it right first time, and as we spoke about in the break, just dying through.
जैज से मिले नॉन स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग के सुपर पावर।
तो अभी जैज की वीकली X+ ऑफर लगाओ और बेफिक्र होकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखो तमाशा पर।
Grow on Extreme. Take a fresh start.
It's the line and the length. You look at the way that Conway played that hand coming off the bat. It looks awkward. It probably makes the guy at the other end feel a little bit uneasy. But it's just a straightforward forward defence if you want to play it that way. But have a look at how he takes the bottom hand off the bat. Everything just looks a little bit awkward. And when you get wide of that off stump, it just looks so easy and flowing.
Well, every team pretty much around world cricket has had a little taste of Devon Conway when he's absolutely flying, regardless of the format. Latham was brilliant the other day against Pakistan. Likewise, Glenn Phillips, a magnificent partnership between those two. He's getting a lot of nods here from the New Zealand batters at the moment. Taskin, just from the fact that he's getting balls into good areas, making them question whether or not to leave or play at them.
I do love my fast bowling. We were chatting about this the other day, Dooley, around when you're building a fast bowler nowadays, and there's a clear, probably technical aspect of them now. We have that brace front knee, you think Bumrah and the likes, and you can see that they're that high, mid 140Ks. Well bowled. Probably feel that ball's gone both ways there by the way he's played that. Well, I said to you, okay, well, if you're building a fast bowler and you're a kid these days, what are you saying to them? Is it try and brace that front knee, create power like that? And then I guess when you look at a swing bowler, their knees a little bit more bent, got up and over.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I love the brace front leg from a purely and technically. You use every bit of height you've got, whether you be 6 foot or 6'6" or 5'7". You know, maximise every bit you have. So I prefer it from that point of view. You look at Bumrah's unusual, but it's almost like if you can imagine a catapult. It's very similar to that. You've got everything rigid, and then you just basically unwind, and that's how I see Bumrah. Technically, you wouldn't coach much else that he does up to the point where he jumps and gathers and bowls, because everything from that point on is just simply superb. It's textbook. The run-up, might not be coaching that, but that's his and it's unique and it makes him brilliant.
Yeah, looks a little bit more comfortable and he's got a bit of space to work with, doesn't he, Conway?
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट on My Zong app through Myco।
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान से फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाई है।
It's a surface where you can see a bit of a cracks, but the ball is coming nicely onto the bat, especially in the evening. You've already seen the kind of pace that Nahid Rana has generated. He's looked threatening, hasn't he? And the quickest of the lot has been the 147, almost 148, when he picked up the wicket of Kane Williamson.
Great signs, only in his 5th one-day international. Tall, lean, he's got the perfect physique for a fast bowler. And it looks like he's got good rhythm too.
Yeah, he certainly does. I watched him warm up. He's a slingy type, but he gets through the crease nicely. It's quick through the air. There was a lot of calls that he should have been in the team from the start. It's just a point of difference to this Bangladesh attack.
Yeah, I think if you have someone who can bowl at that pace, he should be an automatic choice if he's 100%.
It's just a nice, easy action. It's the kind of action too that suggests, touch wood here, that he shouldn't have a lot of injury problems. It's fairly traditional. There's nothing too jerky about it. There's a nice rhythm about it. They bet well to get at least two. Rachin Ravindra, Devon, Conway, they're both Wellingtonians these days, and in fact sort of master in The Apprentice when Conway first came and qualified by playing through for Wellington. Rachin Ravindra just was a sponge. He just listened to everything he said. He studied his technique. They get on really well together. So the fact that they're out there together now and are comfortable in each other's company would be good for New Zealand, but they've been rocked, there's no doubt about that. You just hear it out there. They're loving this, Bangladesh, the atmosphere.
They're a team that when they get the tail up, they can be hard to stop. It's important for New Zealand that this partnership eats in. These two have put on 272 before against England. That's when Rachin Ravindra really burst onto the scene.
He's only against England though, Finchy. 20 for 2.
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान से फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, ज़ेन में आओ।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
Moment they're believers. Elegant, really elegant.
Doesn't get any better than that. The angle from around the wicket, it's not a bad ball by any stretch. It's on the up, classical, stays on top of it, controls it beautifully. Finds the gap between mid-off and cover. And you're not stopping that once it gets through the outfield.
A really good shot, but probably just a touch wide. As the bowler Taskin Ahmed needs to attack the stumps. It's coming round the wicket. Even the second one up after that nearly went through. If they had gone through the field, it would have been another boundary. Really good piece of timing. Couple of shots played by Rachin Ravindra.
He's in the hot seat at short cover, Jackarali. He saved 8 runs already in that spot.
Lovely boys, lovely Taskin.
Again, before the match, Mitchell Santner won the toss and elected to bowl. He said they expected heavy dew to come down. They trained a few nights previous. It had been dewy every time. I was out in the middle at the innings break and chatted to the curator. He thought that the wind was too strong coming across the ground for any dew to form, and this can be a reason why. It's a spray that they put down on the surface just delays the build-up of dew on sitting on the surface, gives the bowling side a bit more leeway deeper into the innings.
You had a close look at it after 50 overs. Do you see any reason for the up and down nature of it?
There's a couple of bare patches on the surface, just a smattering of live grass, but there is some cracks that run up and down, and there is some cracks that run sideways, and they're the ones where you traditionally get up and down bounce from. It's by no means cracks like you'd expect at the whacker that open up. They're just surface cracks, but they provide enough if the bowler's able to hone in on there. In the first innings, we saw probably a dozen balls. Tom Latham had a torrid time of it, a lot bouncing just before they got to him.
Again, Jackarali is in business. Good pressure here. Little keeper Mushfiqur Rahim is loving this. He's a fighter.
It was a little bit in the air, wasn't it? Again, good piece of fielding from Jackarali. And the covers, he stopped some good shots coming from the middle part of the bat. And just probably hoping that it stays in the air a little bit longer. And that fielder in the covers gets into business.
He is close there. He is there to catch any kind of miss hit.
He won't stop that. One off the front foot, one off the back foot. As good as you'll get out of the textbook, those two shots. 28 for 2 after 7.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट on my Zong app through Myco।
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका कोला यकीन की जीत है।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
गोल्डन पर्ल मैक्स लाइट मेंस फेस वॉश। फेस रहे फ्रेश, क्लीन और ब्राइट। गोल्डन पर्ल मैक्स लाइट मेंस फेस वॉश, लेट योर फेस ग्लो।
Grow on Extreme. Take a fresh start.
Lefties at the crease. He introduces Mehidy maybe.
So that's a gorgeous looking shot. Let's have a look at that. Initial movement was in the front foot, and then he realized the ball was on the shorter side. So he goes, leans back and places off the back foot. What a shot that is.
Taking out one of the slips and put him square of the wicket on the offside. So visually, that'll look pretty tough for Rachin Ravindra to get through. And Conway, both lefties who like to play square of the wicket. So they see a deepish backward point inside the circles. They see a man on the circle at square at point and one at short cover. And you think to yourself, I've got to get this right if I'd look to drive.
Yeah, when you speak about Mehidy Hasan Miraz as an off-spinner with two left-handers in the middle, he didn't pick up a wicket against India, but he was very economical. He went for none for 37 in the 10 overs that he bowled. A different surface, a little bit on a slower side, but not a bad idea. If he comes into the attack now.
Can't bowl on the legs. It's just too easy for gifted left-handers.
Every top order batter in the world loves them there. Just straying. He's tried to bowl the outswinger to the left-handed Conway. It was just easy pickings, just has to get anything on it. That races away. Especially the pace that he's generating. Don't have to try and overhit the ball. Just get anything on it. Let the pace do the work for you.
Through mid-on, another glorious piece of timing from Devon Conway.
It's an attempted slower ball. Just straying on line the previous ball. This time, just rolls his fingers down, tries for the big leg cutter. But it's just too full. Again, Conway not trying to overhit it, just punching it down the ground. You get full value for shots.
Good comeback from Nahid Rana. Yeah, a couple of boundaries in the previous over and already two boundaries in this over. Just releases the pressure. Yes, they've managed to pick up a couple of wickets, but if you keep bowling in the areas where the batters are keen to free their arms and find the gap, then you're in trouble.
He has to be just outside off stump and just short of a length for this field. It's a 6-3 offside field. It's offside dominant. Margin for error onside, not good. Another drive. This could be the third boundary of the over. In fact, it will be. It's a bit of a clinic there from these two left-handers at the moment. It's 40 for 2 after 8.
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
जैज से मिले नॉन स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग के सुपर पावर।
तो अभी जैज की वीकली X+ ऑफर लगाओ और बेफिक्र होकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखो तमाशा पर।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
Both these players look to be aggressive against spin, particularly off spin. They'll look to play through the offside. So now with this new ball, can he get one to skid?
Quite on top of that, but in the end, he's going to pick up a boundary because I think he adjusted quite nicely. Rachin Ravindra.
The ball went up out of the hand from Mehidy Hasan. Initially, Rachin Ravindra looking to blast it through the offside, but he just checks his shot. The very last minute, he gets lucky. It's not in control. But again, the sixth boundary in the last 13 deliveries.
He'll use his feet, Rachin Ravindra. He will use his feet if he gets the opportunity in a power play situation.
Here's the last boundary from Conway in the previous over. It's just too full. His ability to hold that bat face open, beat the short cover that he's picked out a couple of times. Brilliant batting.
There's real competition at the top of the order from New Zealand's point of view between Conway and Young. Young got 100 in the first game. Conway missed out. Young gets a duck in this game. Conway gets runs. Who knows? Game 3. New Zealand's next game is not till the 2nd of March against India in Dubai. So they'll have a lot of time to work through it. But if Conway was to get a decent score here and he had a run of reasonable scores in the Tri-Series, who would they go for? Who would you think? And there's 4 more there. That's just a poor delivery, too much width.
It's too slow and it's too wide. Even with the new ball skidding on this surface, it just sits up. It's asking to be punished through the offside. Good use of the feet, good depth in the crease from Devon Conway. Previous ball, he tried to play it with a straight bat. This time he gets deeper. Traditional cut shot.
Ball. Yeah, the ability to find the gaps has been very impressive. The last couple of overs, the moment they've managed to fade around, they've found the boundaries.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
नई स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी
बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गई है भाई।
कितनी?
न्यू स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी।
Expect Mustafizur to change the pace. It's one of his trademarks, a big off-cutter, particularly to these two players. Once you get on a roll as a batter, you want to continue to hit boundaries. So it'll be interesting to see how quick Mustafizur does go to the slower balls.
It's been the hottest place to be. Jakarali has He's worn a few on the hands, he's worn a couple on the legs. He is only about 15 metres from the bat, and they're timing it beautifully.
Oh, it's straight on the kneecap, I reckon.
Well, he's there for that change of pace, that check drive. In fact, they've got two players there really in there now, Bangladesh. Two shortish covers for the check drive off the slower delivery. And he beats them both with absolute precision. Ravindra is looking good.
His ability to stand tall, not look to overhit. Also have confidence in the surface. This means he can hit through the line. He's not worried about the two catches in front of his face. He knows with the control that he's got, he can squeeze it through that gap. It's brilliant batting. Five boundaries already in his 22. Bangladesh need to straighten up their line. They've got the offside field packed, but that encourages them to bowl out there. No! It's a better length.
Yeah, when you speak about taking the pace of the ball, I don't think if the number of deliveries that he has bowled, that's the boundary which is about the 50 on the board. If you look at the pace in this over, 129, 131, 129 again, 134. So you got to make sure that most of his the trump card is the cutters. So whether he'll be able to adjust and adapt a little bit quickly, there you go. He's been in the thick of the things right at the cover field. Jacker really looks like he's going to go out. He's holding on to his hamstring, probably get a bit of a treatment, but he's done well. In comes Shumo Sharkar. So it's important that the value of slower deliveries, especially on these kind of surfaces, the bowler needs to bring it on, especially if you have someone like Mustafizur Rahman, because he's done it in the past for a very long time.
Because if you keep bowling out there, you keep getting hammered through the offside. So what can Bangladesh do here? You've got a guy whose go-to is cutters. So maybe you can bring your fine leg up, drop a deep square out, but bring one of the catching covers across to a catching mid-wicket. Say, let's straighten up your line. If you stray in line, you've got protection in the deep. But if you make a mistake as a batsman, we've got catches in front of the wicket. That plays into his hands and his strengths.
Single, and it was required a good piece of fielding to keep it to that.
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
And now it gets really interesting for Shanto from a captaincy point of view. He can go more defensive now, but can he afford to go ultra defensive and let New Zealand pick up singles and twos at will? He hasn't got that many to protect. Or does he keep them in and say hit over?
I think it's a balance where you potentially give Mehidy Hasan a couple of fielders out and say, right, get into your work now in these middle overs. Try and build some dot ball pressure. Fielders in the circle squeeze. Balls like that just go for one. Here is a look at the power play. Started off beautifully for Bangladesh. Will Young knocked over in the first over. Conway, that has been a feature of their play all night so far, the two left-handers. Huge wicket of Kane Williamson. Rana bowled quick.
Yeah, the problem is that they didn't manage to pick up those early wickets, but they conceded 12 boundaries. So they're out of this total of 56, 48 in boundaries. So that's why you got to make sure that you don't bowl those kind of deliveries where the batters can take you on for a boundary.
Yeah, risk-free boundaries as well. They've all been wide or really straight. That's good running.
See, they can't afford that to happen, for instance. If you've got a fielder up inside the circle, he has to be able to stop that single. Otherwise, you know, it's almost pointless, your plan. You have to be aggressive inside the circle and stop ones. Can't let the pressure off. Run rate required is not an issue. They need wickets, and they get wickets by creating pressure inside the circle. It's better. A lot faster out of the blocks there.
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
ऑन ग्रेड इन्वर्टर, हाइब्रिड इन्वर्टर, लिथियम बैटरी की वसी रेंज इन्वरेक्स को बनाता है पाकिस्तान का नंबर 1 सोलर ब्रांड इन्वरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
That's a better line. Ravindra is so brutal on anything wide. There's a nice easy one to get off the mark. And then that's a beautiful shot through the covers. Another one, back foot. Have a look at the line of these deliveries. That's a bit streaky. And this last one, gorgeous again. His ability to stay on top of the ball and his flow through the offside is wonderful. Keep the stumps in play.
Beautifully bowled. And in the end, it had to be well played, and I think he was gone. I really do believe had that hit, that would have been the end of Rachin Ravindra. What a moment.
Definitely looks like an opportunity. Really well bowled. I thought there was a run in there. Never there. Direct hit. They needed a direct hit. Let's see how close was he. Would have been gone. Yes.
How big? How big is that?
Small moments in games. It's the first cutter that he's bowled. Rachin thought he got it a fraction squarer. He's probably got 2.5 stumps to aim at there. He's just pulled the throat. When you've got a modest total on the board, you need things to go your way. You need to create chances, and they've done that. Just couldn't finish it off, couldn't hit the sticks.
That's where that inner circle fielding. New Zealand were dominant in that area because they didn't have a lot of pressure put on them. Now, Bangladesh have got to counter that by being super aggressive and creating opportunities. That very opportunity there is what they need to do. And if they hit, they'll get the benefit of that pressure. So if you're inside the circle, you are aggressively inside the circle. If they hit it past you, so be it. This is good pressure.
Yeah, you talk about making sure that you don't allow the batters to pick up boundaries. They've already picked up 12, we spoke about it, but the last over from Mehidy Hasan Miraz, where he considered only 3 singles, had them going, because the first delivery that Rachin Ravindra faced, it was a Yorker and wanted to steal a single, because that's how you create the pressure. If you can build up to bowl a number of dot deliveries. Even look at this over, only a single run in this over. It's been a good over.
Better fielding, better pressure, hits the stumps this time, but Ravindra is home. Lifting at Bangladesh at the right time. 58 for 2.
जैज़ के पास हर नीड का हल है। बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
Nicer and nicer as the innings goes on. They may, however, just need to work on a little bit of communication and running between the wickets. That was the direct hit. Comfortably home this time. There was a missed opportunity, though, within the over. Bangladesh know that opportunities come their way. They must take them, having only put on the 236. Spin to continue. There's not much nicer on the eye than Ravindra when he's in a groove like this at the moment, Katie, particularly off the front foot.
Yeah, he's a classy player, and sort of the tempo that he bats with, I think that's his strength, and the composure as well. There's been a bit of an era in the comms that come out of the 2023 World Cup. He's not actually named after Rahul Dravid and Sachin Tendulkar. That was what the story was coming out. That's what his dad called him, but his dad corrected him and said he just liked those two cricketers, and it just sounded good together, Rachin.
Yeah, parents Ravi and Deepa from Bangalore in India. Rich himself born and bred in Wellington, though. Can't find too many similarities between those cities, Nas.
One's windier.
He's found space with that. And it wasn't pretty on the boundary line, but effective enough.
Tell you what has been pretty is some of the drives from these two left-handers. In fact, the last couple of nights have been treated to some beautiful drives. Last night, Shubman Gill straight down the ground, and Virat Kohli. Here, these left-handers on the up, Rachin in particular. Left-handers just look so pleasing to the eye.
And a milestone. I don't think it'll be the first for him either. 1,000 ODI runs to Ravindra. 26 innings. Wonderful strike rate. That's the start of an impressive career. And he'll keep strike for the start of the next. 65 for 2.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई Zong ऐप थ्रू माइको।
रुको छू जाती है हर अच्छी बात चल मेरे लाल।
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इनवेरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
Well, another one who's just starting on his way. There's the bowler from Bangladesh, Mehidy Rana. Had a yard of pace, just nibbled it around, and he struggled a bit from round the wicket, but got it to zip through. All these stories build throughout these tournaments, really. And the wicket of Kane Williamson, what a one to get, one of the Fab Four. Ball was coming in, and then that left him, and I loved the reaction. He's got one of the great players out of all time, and he was cool as you like. And he has been asked, actually, in the short time he's been in international cricket, why don't you over-celebrate or celebrate more your wickets? And he said, well, the batsman's disappointed enough. Why should I be celebrating when he's disappointed? So if you consider that and compare it to Kagiso Rabada, or he's just like, it's got him out, that's my job.
That is not your atypical fast bowler mentality,
No.
is it?
There's something nice about it, though.
And there's that inside edge. We've spoken about it. More inside edges than out for Conway because of his setup. Here's an example of it.
Nice setup, wasn't it? There was a lot of deliveries coming in, angling in, and then Fuller, and it just left him, and it was the quickest ball of that over, which it tends to be if you're a little bit fuller.
You talk about his nature, Nas. Apparently he loves cats, fishing and motorbikes, which are all quite three different things, aren't they, really?
Hopefully not all at once.
Well, he obviously likes speed. There's the bikes. He's got a soft side. I'm tipping that's the cat. And he gets batters fishing. Just squeezing in there, that short cover, trying to apply some extra pressure.
Yeah, they have changed since the power play. Aaron Finch was talking about, there you see the 50 partnership coming up between two very fine left-handers who know each other well and get on well. But Bangladesh have gone straighter with their line. Finchy talking about how they've been wider, but they've also dragged their length back. There's not been as many drives. And obviously it helps being out of the power play with the extra fielder out.
Another tight over there. Just a single coming from it. 14 overs bowled here by Bangladesh.
जैज़ के पास हर नीड का हल है, बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ.
Introducing Hello Hair Hair Color. Keratin, olive और avocado oils ने visibly improved hair quality. Hello Hair Hair Color. Colors to die for.
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स. अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन.
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ. कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है. 100% ब्रेकअप.
Something Bangladesh couldn't do is picking up singers. Couldn't pick up singles, but Michael Bracewell was bowling so well. 4 for. On a good wicket, he was well supported by some brilliant fielding from New Zealand. It's been a hallmark of their game for many a decade.
I think I looked at the shot before from Rachin Ravindra, and what we saw from Bangladesh against Bracewell was the fact they could just open their hands up. I guess there's that extra skid from under lights, but just open their hands up. That's a fantasy point right on top. Shanta was outstanding with the bat. Probably felt like he might have left 100 out there as well. He worked hard. But as you both know, there's just a natural in your mind of intent to score, so you might just open your hands up, maybe play the ball a little bit later, but the intent, or whether it's actually hit it hard to that sweeper fielder to go, I've got to get it through the inner field to actually get it out there.
Oh, a little goose step. He needs to get going, and he does.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 occasions now for two lads who know each other so well. They've just had a bit of miscommunication or tight runs. In the end, they were fine. Nearly sold him a dummy by stopping. But the key is you got to both go, and they did.
Direct hits, that's what Bangladesh need. Just keeps that short mid-wicket interested.
Oh, a bit of a slow back up there from Devon Conway, then the late movement in the end probably saved him. There's so many players forward, ready in that sprinter position.
And that's in the air, but it's found some space through cover. Again, just
100% grey coverage with no fear of hair damage. Permanent color with Italian formulation. So right side. Hello Hair. Hair color. Colors to die for.
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
न्यू स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी। क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
And no surprises that one of the all-time great left-handers has been keeping an eagle eye on things. Haydos, what have you got for us?
Yeah, thanks, Mel. Let's start off with a conversation back of house here amongst our comms as to why Devon Conway actually releases quite often his bottom hand. Smitty was challenging that, and I thought I'd take up the cause. But if you have a look here on the left-hand side, the line of the ball is in and around that leg stump line. His footwork, if you notice as well, is very on the crease. Now, of course, Devon Conway with his cover drive, well, that's exactly where he wants it, because when you look at his eye line, he wants to very much stay on side of the ball. So on the left-hand side, the head has already moved to the offside after his initial footwork. On the right-hand side of the screen, the cover drive, everything is in line. Head, hands, point of contact. So it's actually more of just a smother because his head's already gone to the offside and he's off balance.
So point of correction then, if you take it one step further forward?
Well, I think when you compare him to the other left-hander at the moment, Rawalpindi, Ratchin has his initial movement, but what he does do after that initial movement is he then takes another step to the line of the ball, no matter whether it's to the covers or in fact down the ground. So he's much more open to playing 360 degrees. Whereas Conway kind of gets stuck at the crease. His footwork planted, and then it becomes really hard to play down through mid-on in that classic mid-on drive down the ground. The hardest shot in the book, it must be said as well.
Plays on, goes for the forward defence. Yet again, we've just spoken about it. It's the inside edge that's the undoing for Devon Conway.
The angle in. This is a continued issue for Devon Conway, continuing to target the inside edge of his bat, the hands away from his body. Partnership was building nicely there, just looking to guide the ball down.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बॉम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इन्वेरेक्स। इन्वेरेक्स, मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनक्स, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
Very impressive grip. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका-कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
Very impressive grip. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
New stronger Pepsi.
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका-कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
जब जब तुम्हें लगता है कहानी खत्म हो रही है, कहानी वहीं से तो शुरू होती है। Grown Extreme, take a fresh start.
Golden Pearl Beauty Cream, बात बन जाए।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका-कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
गोल्डन पर्ल मैक्स लाइट मेंस फेस वॉश, फेस रहे फ्रेश, क्लीन और ब्राइट। गोल्डन पर्ल मैक्स लाइट मेंस फेस वॉश, लेट योर फेस ग्लो।
New stronger Pepsi.
The new batter at the crease, regardless of the fact that he's hit 100, he is starting again. And he's off straight away. He was coming off some poor form too, wasn't he, Katie?
Yeah, a couple of ducks in a row, and I think he's so understated in this New Zealand lineup, a bit like Fizz's bowling so far. Fantastic, economical. He's a bit similar, his slower delivery as well, a bit similar to Devon Conway as well, just that target inside to left-handers. It just tends to be a weakness because you always feel like your outside edge is in trouble as well as your inside edge.
And it's that shot there that's so different from what we saw from Bangladesh, wasn't it? He can find the gap.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका-कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग। हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
It's going to be swinging around a change of ends. Just using the pace there, Ratchin. Contemplate a second, decide against it. Big tournaments, and so often we see some young guns firing and making a name for themselves. Bangladesh defending 236 runs. They needed early wickets and they got it. Taskin got the first, Rana got the second. And now they'd love Rana to get his second and third himself. A little back-to-back and put New Zealand on the back foot again. It's a leave off length. With a run of poor form, Tom Latham, New Zealand's wicket-keeper, and he turned things around beautifully. 113 strike rate against both seam and spin. Guided New Zealand beautifully. Stands up nice and tall for the single. Probably worth more the style of the shot. So where does that put Latham in terms of the Champions Trophy? Number 3 spot in terms of the highest scores, individual scores throughout the tournament. We saw Ben Duckett the other day against Australia, that magnificent 165, unfortunately in a losing cause because Josh Inglis got 120 not out. Oh, just out of reach. We've seen some classic catches in this tournament so far, and that would have been right up there.
Yeah, the splice of the bat. We've all said that this pitch may be slightly too pace, and some of the pull shots have gone away beautifully, and some of the pull shots, Shanto being one, having got in, was spliced up in the air. And that just hurried Rachin Ravinder.
Jacko Ali has got over his knock to the knee, got smoked in the kneecap earlier on, was hobbling around for a bit.
I like this angle with Rana, just the fact that he's coming back into the stumps, but we know how much he can get the ball going away as well. Just see at the moment, just the lack of footwork from Tom Latham going, okay, where's the ball going to go? He's got that mid on up, so you know it's just going to be a bit more back of a length. Got to try and maybe get him to use the inside half of the bat. Maybe that bouncer option as well. It's a bigger boundary out onto that leg side, just into the wicket.
Starts just outside the inner circle. A little bit of a trademark shuffle is beginning to form. And then he gets into his stride, and it's the run-up that Phil Simmons has said he's been working on just to gather that extra pace. 4 singles in the over, 78 for 3. So here, coming out of the Bangladesh Premier League, trying to work on that extra pace just before this tournament. Well, the shuffle at the start of run as
Introducing Hello Hair hair color. Keratin, olive or avocado oils ने visibly improved hair quality. Hello Hair hair color. Colors to die for.
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इन्वेरेक्स। इन्वेरेक्स, मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
Just sliding down leg.
He's got that shuffle. I saw a little bit of this white chew up, and I thought, what's going on there? It's actually made of fabric. Those advertising signs, usually it's painted in the ground, so I think that might have to be ripped up overnight and maybe replaced or cut down a little bit shorter. They say that Duke gets stuck in your studs, but maybe not so much for him.
Yeah, keeps his head over the line of the ball nicely, does Latham. Doesn't try and overhit and still finds the boundary.
Yeah, the difference between out of neck and being in neck is just one innings. And then suddenly batting just comes back to you, and shots like this, there's nothing wrong with that delivery. You find the gaps, you find the middle of the bat, everything that was lacking, trying to find form, just takes a few overs, hours at the crease, batting and rhythm.
One thing I think over the last period of time, he looks like he's got more time. He's made a slight technical adjustment in terms of that, but sometimes he gets that bat plane that goes across the ball a little bit, and that's what creates trouble in between bat and pad. But he's got his hands up a lot higher now. We talked about it in the first game, so his bat plane's a lot nicer coming through the ball as well. He's got more time. He's set up a lot earlier.
It's a little movement above the sight screen at the pavilion end.
So just talking about the change for Tom Latham, very well known around how his bat tap inside his foot, that front foot. 2023, not that long ago, he's got his hands down on contact or when the bowler comes in, and now he's got a lot higher. It just gives him a bit more of an earlier setup. He's always got that back shuffle foot back, but just that second longer, he just feels like he's got a little bit more time. He's set up a little earlier, and he can get through the ball a lot better with a nicer batsman. You know, when you look at a batter and you look like they've got a lot more time, and just that's when you see them play. Very much just a slight subtle change, and his head actually position is a lot further forward than he did used to be a couple of years ago because of that front foot tap. He's not necessarily as high in his stance. He's a little bit more balanced, a little bit more bent in the knees, and he said it just allows him to feel like he's not rushed as much.
Gloriously timed shot once again, and some handy running too. You say it's a small change, but it takes a while, doesn't it, just to make sure that there's a comfort factor. To try and break a habit is a tricky thing to do, and that's the big challenge for any player at any level.
He just made that slight change just in the back of the New Zealand summer, and I think maybe that could be the reason why he did have those low scores, because he's just trying to get that time and used to it. And we know nowadays you don't get too many times in the net. It's just very much play and travel.
Oh, that's come off the back of the bat, hasn't it? It's gone up and over, not where anyone was expecting. For Ravindra though, thankfully, it clears the keeper.
Sunsilk Black Shine में है 5 natural oils के साथ विटामिन E का super mix. अब बाल करें shine all the time with Sunsilk Black Shine.
नई स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी
बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गई है भाई।
कितनी?
New stronger Pepsi.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
वाटिका अनियन शैम्पू, जिसके हर ड्रॉप में है भरी नरिशिंग ऑयल्स और नेचुरल इंग्रेडिएंट्स की गुडनेस। वाटिका शैम्पू, ऑयल वाला शैम्पू।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो। फिक्र फ्री से सेहत और इंश्योरेंस अब आपके हाथ में।
Tom Latham looked brilliant against Pakistan. Gee, that was an innings and a half. And he's come out and looked pretty solid again here. This attempted slower ball that got away from everybody, really. Matt Hayden in next to us to talk about elegant left-handers at the crease. We've got two at the moment. It's going to be good. Sit back and listen for the next half an hour.
Well, it cut us a bit short, half an hour. I reckon it's game on here. It's good to see Bangladesh in this bowling performance. Put in New Zealand well under pressure here. Some fine bowling. Some introductory bowling. We're seeing a young talent here emerge from Bangladesh, which is special. Genuine pace. Already made impact.
You haven't seen a stutter start like that since the great Sir Richard back in the heyday. He's got this little idiosyncrasy where I think I have seen another bowler since then have a sort of a stutter start like this, ripping the heck out of the advertising hoarding. I know that.
You look at it out the window, it's torn apart right where he just sort of trods up and down and digs those spikes in. He's completely tearing it apart. Yeah, learned producer, just like a cat at a scratch pole. It's not quite Jasprit Bumrah. He's got a little bit of that in him at the start. But once that's done, the run-up's great. Everything about this young man is quite impressive. It's nice and high over that front leg. He loads up really well. Good genuine pace and a bit of bounce as well. It is exciting to see left-handers like the quality that we're seeing here with Latham, who was brilliant against Pakistan. And I'm not sure that Rachin Ravindra, there's a better cover driver outside of maybe some of the greats of the modern era, like Mike Hussey straight away comes to mind.
Misfield, and they'll pinch one to end the over. It's 90 for 3.
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो। फिक्र फ्री से सेहत और इंश्योरेंस अब आपके हाथ में।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
New stronger Pepsi.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई Zong ऐप थ्रू माइको।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
In the action, bowling his 5th.
I'm so a little surprised. I know there's this theory around off spinners to left-handers. We haven't seen the leg spinner yet. And he was really good against India. Just a little surprised that we haven't seen the sight of Rashid Hussain just yet.
Rachin will try and come back, but they'll turn that down. Yes, you want to give them something. Leg spinners need runs to bowl at. Even the greats, they need a little bit in the bank.
Just got to hunt for a wicket. And a leg spinner with the variety of options that they have in their kit bag surely present a chance, even to a left-hander. Wrongan, Caramball, they all possess those types of deliveries now, and you can get a little locked in as a captain as to the way that you want to go about the progression of your bowling performance.
Right on.
Seen the sweep shot come out from Tom Latham yet, and that's his trademark against spin. Just preferring at the moment to play down the ground, the safer option. Also haven't seen Rachin Ravindra use his feet to this off spinner, which he didn't mind doing. 20 overs gone, 94 for 3.
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
जैज़ के पास हर नीड का हल है। बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
%100% grey coverage with no fear of hair damage. Permanent color with Italian formulation. So right side, hello hair color. Colors to die for.
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
Getting back into the attack. Still no sign of the leg spinner. Ball coming on might just suit Rachin Ravindra a little more. The offside beckons. What's the secret to youth in batting? I mean, it looks to go forward. His first thought, to me, when I watch Rachin Ravindra, his first thought always looks to be to go forward.
I feel that he's very neutral in his strategy as a batsman. He's not looking particularly to do anything else other than get his initial movement in, and then there's a moment of pause where he's gone, right, well, where's this pitching and on what line is it? Well, that'll do, and that's a wonderful way to bring up 50. Gentlemen, we are seeing the emergence of one of the great modern day players. Without putting the commentator's curse on him, he is very special.
Yeah, first half century against Bangladesh, 7th overall. Over 1,000 runs now. Such high quality. There was an off-pace delivery, just floated a little bit.
Yeah, so his little trigger movement where he'll just shimmy a little bit just to get everything flowing, bat flowing, feet flowing. Beyond that, though, it just takes a moment. And that last boundary to bring up his 50 was a great example of it. He doesn't get set with one way. He knows that he's tall and he's a very good puller of the ball, which says straight away that he's a great reader of length of the ball. But then when it comes to the cover drive, which I think is one of the hardest shots to play, he doesn't overcommit, never overcommits. So he watches the ball so closely, and you can see right there, he gets a great stride into the ball as well, weight through the ball, doesn't try and overhit it, didn't need to because it was well pitched. is exactly where he wanted it to go, but he gives himself options, Smitty, all around the ground. Because he doesn't think, a bit like, unlike Devon Conway, who tends to get locked into a certain way of play.
Got that one side of it, please. Yes. So slightly shorter length delivery, but still the movement is still forward, and that's the point I look at with him. Everything is intending to go in a forward, and then of course he's got the ability, because he's young and he's got good eye, he's got the ability, he can play what looks like a back foot, but he's actually forward in this position. Just the one. Tom Latham's pretty good judge of runs and risks. 21 overs gone.
वाह, ग्रिप सर्विस जैसी तो फिक्र कैसी। पाकिस्तान's global.Their brand।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई Zong ऐप थ्रू माइको।
New stronger Pepsi.
हेलो हेयर एंटी डैंड्रफ शैम्पू टी ट्री और मिंट ऑयल से डैंड्रफ खत्म, इच रिमूव्ड, बाल मॉइस्चराइज्ड और स्कैल्प रिफ्रेश्ड। हेलो हेयर एंटी डैंड्रफ शैम्पू।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो। फिक्र फ्री से सेहत और इंश्योरेंस अब आपके हाथ में।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय। मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो।
The other thing that was counting against Rachin Ravindra was just he'd get out in a soft fashion. I mean, you've outlined his skill and his ability. And he'd sell himself short. He went through a period of selling himself short. Once he gets out of that, once he passed that, the value of batting, the value of his wicket. He's also got out a lot driving square of the wicket on the offside. But Damien Martin, remember Damien Martin? You'd set 5 points in a gully and just wait. And sooner or later he'd get one slightly wrong and he'd be out. Well, that was sort of the Rachin Ravindra. Left-hand version, that'll spin and it'll feel short, so no problem at all. Lathan gets the sweep out. So once he gets past that.
Well, he's such a great lover of the sport. So keen to learn. He had a great session. ICC at the nets, and got an opportunity to spend quite a lot of time with you boys in Karachi, and he makes a V-line to you. He wants to absorb information, learn about it. And we actually spoke quite a lot about that. The tempo in Test match cricket in particular was the conversation. It was around half scores getting converted into big hundreds, 200s. He's possible and capable of doing all of that. And it's not his hunger. I think it's more of a tempo trick. It might be just finishing an over, maybe finishing a session, starting a session, learning those little nuances about batting that keeps driving you forward in an inning, setting little goals, setting up with your partner some certain challenges. They're all the little things you learn as you get older. And one-day cricket is exactly like that as well.
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो। फिक्र फ्री से सेहत और इंश्योरेंस अब आपके हाथ में।
यकीन की जीत है।
वाह, ग्रिप सर्विस जैसी तो फिक्र कैसी। पाकिस्तान's global.Their brand।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
Basically, The other thing is your hunger for batting. You had a hunger for batting. You made big scores, so you had hunger.
You just have so many days where you miss out. Anyone that plays at this level is better at failing than what they are winning, because it drives their progression. What did I learn? I think as cricketers we're very good at doing the briefing sessions, but oftentimes in the debriefing sessions we don't pay enough attention to what happened, analysing how we could improve, ball by ball even. That's where partnership batting's so key.
And the calm nature of the guy at the other end. But you had Justin Langer.
He was pretty calm. I had some beauties. I mean, in that era, I had just great partnerships to bat with the entire time. It didn't matter who it was, really. And then just as opposition sides thought that they had you, Adam Gilchrist comes in the bat, and there was nothing calm about him either. It's like watching a highlights package in one-day cricket. We were talking about this in the first innings, and it's the difference between first and second, because you obviously know your target. These middle now will be discussing exactly what they need to be through those phases that you mentioned. Where do I need to be in the next 10? What do we need to do? And the first innings a lot more challenging in one-day cricket in particular, because you just never know these days what's a target on these tracks.
Case in point, England the other night.
Well, we felt from the position England were in, 370, 380 was what they probably should have got. Ended up sort of stumbling their way, and courtesy of a couple of lusty blows from Jofra Archer in the end to get to that 351 mark. Probably felt they should have got 370, 380 minimum from where they were.
Even the Bangladesh innings, I feel that they really lost their way right now, this phase, not looking for ones, looking for miracles.
Yeah, 3 for 48 between overs 21 and 30. At the end of the day, if they don't get up here tonight, that's the period of play they can look at. And from that point onwards, they never until right at the end when they just threw caution to the wind, because that's what tail-enders do when they picked up some bonus runs. But I think if Phil Simmons analyses bit by bit, that was not a good time. Well bowled, just the 2 singles from it.
मैजिक सिर्फ तब जब साथ सब हो। कोका कोला यकीन की जीत है।
Wow, very impressive play. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई Zong ऐप थ्रू माइको।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
Bangladesh, when they analyse what they've done in this Champions Trophy so far, 341 dots in 2 games. Top edge, there's your mistake, there's your opportunity. Fall safely. So that's 57% of the runs of the balls they've faced have been non-productive. Too many.
Yeah, way too many. I think when you look at the leaderboard through this phase of ODI cricket, you get India right up there. They're just a smidge over 50%. But you're flirting with also percentage of boundaries as well, Smithy, because you can block 3 and then score plenty in terms of boundaries.
I'll back you up by that because I've hit 33 fours and 9 sixes, which is realised 7%, just over 7% of their total runs or total ball space.
And if we looked at those in a bit deeper analysis, I wonder how many of those balls, the 7% boundaries I'm talking about, would have come off balls 1 and 2. Because I think in Bangladesh's innings, they were often having 4 or 5 dot balls and then hoping for the miracle boundary when you're under pressure as the batter. The bowlers have done all the work. Of course, it's frustrating, Dills, if you go for a boundary off your last balls. Captains, well, they've lost plenty of hair over that. But you want to be challenging bowlers early on in the over.
Excellent.
Yeah, Mushfiqur there, just say that's the length, the awkward length. Get him lunging forward, probing forward, get the leading edge into play. Just a touch full, that one. Relatively easy single down the ground to end the 24th over.
हाइब्रिड इन्वर्टर लिथियम बैटरी की वसी रेंज इन्वरेक्स को बनाता है पाकिस्तान का नंबर 1 सोलर ब्रांड इन्वरेक्स मेरा एतमाद मेरी रिकमेंडेशन
जैज़ के पास हर नीड का हल है बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ
हेलो हेयर एंटी डैंड्रफ शैम्पू टी ट्री और मिंट ऑयल से डैंड्रफ खत्म, इट्स रिमूव्ड, बाल मॉइस्चराइज्ड और स्कैल्प रिफ्रेश्ड। हेलो हेयर एंटी डैंड्रफ शैम्पू
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
You might see some purchase here. Wrist spin.
I know we're relatively harsh on the Bangladesh batting innings from a dot ball point of view. It's not sort of waxing lyrical about how Rawalpindi has been, I think, the best surface in the country for quite some time. They've just had a lot of cricket on this ground lately. I wonder whether the lack of grass on it. Normally, when we come here for the PSL, there's a really even covering of grass, more like the ones away to the right of where we look out on the ground now. And it just slides on beautifully, and it's a terrific batting surface. But New Zealand have now had 84 dots. We're almost halfway. Halfway to Bangladesh's amount of dots as well. So those two to the right of where we're playing on tonight, that's more like how they would tend to look. We had scores of 220, 230, 240 in 2020 cricket, getting knocked off, getting chased down on a regular basis. But there's just been so much cricket on these three surfaces that are used for television games of late. Just a bit of the air might have gone out of it a touch. And maybe it's a little more difficult to score than we all thought it would be. Because New Zealand have actually racked up the dots as well. Look at the surfaces away to the immediate left of your screen now, to the right-hand side. Always produced really good pitches here that come onto the bat beautifully. This one just doesn't have that grass covering on it, the even nature of it.
Interesting to see this guy settle, both these left-handers. Rachin Ravindra has basically played spin from the crease in this innings so far, but he is quite keen on coming out of bowler. Happy to play off the back foot at the moment because he's getting the length to do so. That's the halfway point. It's 111 for 3.
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो।
मैच की फिक्र छोड़ो और अभी फिक्र फ्री ऐप डाउनलोड करो। फिक्र फ्री से सेहत और इंश्योरेंस अब आपके हाथ में।
वाह, Very impressive grip. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
That's a boundary. Honestly, that was beautifully timed.
Yeah, you can say that again. That was smoked away. Falling pretty flat, both of these two. Rawalpindi does like to use his feet. Just swatted across into the gap.
এখন ভালো করতেছো, এখন বোলিং ভালো হচ্ছে, বেশি সোজা কিন্তু তুই।
Dump that for a single.
And he plays that shot as good as anyone. Very technically sound. It is a real technical shot, the sweep shot. A lot of things have to be going right for you, especially on wickets that aren't bouncing a lot. And that's the safest position through that region. The statistician has brought up that fact that I was mentioning before. Bangladesh have scored, this is both games, today and also against India. Not 1-6 in the column off the first ball. They've delayed until fourth ball. They've had 3 sixes, fifth 3 sixes, and off the last ball just 1-6 in both innings. So they're delaying their strategies to go big. I think that's a wrong way, Smithy.
It's going to run away from everybody, and it'll be 4 byes. It was a sweep shot from quite wide, which Mushfiqur didn't pick up.
मैजिक सिर्फ तब जब साथ सब हो। कोका-कोला यकीन की जीत है।
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
ऑन ग्रेड इन्वर्टर, हाइब्रिड इन्वर्टर, लिथियम बैटरी की वसी रेंज इन्वरेक्स को बनाता है पाकिस्तान का नंबर 1 सोलर ब्रांड इन्वरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
रुको छू जाती है हर अच्छी बात, चल मेरे ला।
16. Two very fine players at the crease. Ravindra playing beautifully. Latham 18 from 30. Not much between the sides as far as total at this stage. New Zealand 121, Bangladesh were 118, but Bangladesh were 5 down at this stage. .50 partnership between Latham and Ravindra.
It's been a really good partnership on the back of a steadying one from Ravindra and Conway, and Latham has just picked it up where they left off.
Just a bit of bounce there, and it's been edged fine. He went with it in the end. Will go away for a boundary.
It's the second time tonight Ravindra's looked at a top edge that's ran away. Just some extra bounce on this occasion. It doesn't bowl many top spinners or googlies, but that is the top spinner, hence the extra bounce. He's unable to control it, but he gets away with it again.
And that one, the variation, a little bit more out the front of the hand, skidding through. That replay of that top spinner, the seam position, absolutely perfect for a top spinner, almost like a seamer. And then you get the overspin and the bounce from the wrist leg spinner. Good bowling and pretty good batting. Just knock it in the gap and get up the other end. 128 for 3.
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका-कोला यकीन की जीत है।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash, ग्लूटाथायोन दे उजला निखार, कोटेड सिलिका बीट्स से हर दिन पूरा दिन आपके चेहरे को 3D रेडियंस। Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash, love your skin.
Skipper has brought himself on. Shanto. It's a good start. It's a little bit wide. Misses out there. Katie, everyone fit for the next game. Every batter fit. Daryl Mitchell comes back from his stomach bug. What's your top order for New Zealand? Who plays? Who misses out?
So you're going to ask me a nice question, Nats. For me, I think Rachin Ravindra goes back to the top of the order and you hit Devon Conway out. I think Will Young's done enough, got a good ball today, but he showed enough scoring 100 in the first innings. I think they complement each other really well. Left-hand, right-hand combination. The question marks are, who's that third seam bowling option? Who's your best option in terms of the depth? I think that Nan Smith talked about it beautifully in the first innings. That's where I think New Zealand's weakness slightly is that what they go with a third seam. Is it a Kyle Jamieson? Is it a Nathan Smith in terms of that option?
Short. And belted away. Latham missed out on a short one. Rachin Ravindra doesn't. A big beaming smile on his face.
Just picks up length, Rachin Ravindra. Interesting bowling change. Just think, okay, part-time bowler, can he sort of just get a bonus wicket here? At the moment, just these batters are in too good a form, and anybody is going to put that out the park.
It's just a drag down, and it just sits up. It's only the 7th time he's bowled in ODI cricket.
And again short, this time offside. And again a boundary.
He's just running in, trying to bowl too fast. And by doing that, he drags it down again. Rachin, he's been on to anything half short, particularly through the offside. It's fantastic batting. It's not great bowling, it must be said. Genuine drag down.
And again. This time the sweeper will tidy up. Not the best of overs that from the skipper.
ग्रिप सर्विस जैसी तो फिक्र कैसी पाकिस्तान ग्लोबल टायर ब्रांड
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
वाह, very impressive grip. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट on my Zong app through Myco.
It's actually quite an interesting one because Devon Conway turned down his New Zealand cricket contract, so he's to be able to play in the SA20, similar to Kane Williamson as well. And what Gary Stead, the New Zealand coach, said is, well, in that time where he hasn't been playing for New Zealand, he's had a lot of injuries as well. He's had COVID, finger injury, and he said, well, if someone comes in and performs at New Zealand level, then do you pick them based upon their reputation and what they've done previous to that, or do you pick them based upon a guy that's actually made themselves available and played for New Zealand and scored runs? And I think that's a dilemma from a selection point of view, is which option do you go with?
Yeah, the question there, you can't treat them both the same. Kane Williamson's provided 15 years of service over all 3 formats and been an unbelievable player, one of the greatest New Zealand's ever produced. And then there's Devon Conway, who's been around the scene for 4 or 5 years. It's a totally different scenario.
I guess the point on that is the selection of Will Young versus Devon Conway. You say Will Young's had that opportunity, great piece of fielding. But then do you say, okay, Will Young scored runs at New Zealand level in the last 8 months or so. Does that surpass what Devon Conway's done previous to that?
Well, that's for the future, but Bangladesh still trying as hard as they can. That's a good bit of fielding. They've just gone a little bit short. And Rachin Ravindra looks in great touch. He's caressing the ball to all parts. Yes, mate. The one he just knocked to. Who threw that? Yes.
বল এই লেনটা ভালো বল রেস
Both these batters picking up length well. That's the key to playing spin. 146 for 3.
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
ऑन-ग्रिड इन्वर्टर, हाइब्रिड इन्वर्टर, लिथियम बैटरी की वसी रेंज इन्वरेक्स को बनाता है पाकिस्तान का नंबर 1 सोलर ब्रांड इन्वरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
Try Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash. 3 super ingredients.
Would be Martin Crowe. How much was he on? Well, when you're protecting a low score, you have to take every chance, whether it be catches or run-outs. Rachin Ravindra was on 25. He knocked it to Tanzit at a short mid-wicket. 2.5 stumps to aim at. Missed the stumps and probably missed the opportunity to get back in this game.
It was a big time in the game because Bangladesh had their tail up at the time. They were up and about, a couple of early wickets, and then that would have had real trouble. 3 down early, and they have had some trouble when they've lost early wickets in the past. But now 84, he's batted beautifully, only 80 deliveries. He's done it effortlessly. So what can Bangladesh do here? How can they squeeze out another wicket? The form that Ratchan's in, you look to get him off strike. Try and build some pressure on Tom Latham. He's 26 from 42. Maybe it's the time to bring a fielder up. Almost force the hand of the New Zealand batsman.
Almost like the surprise plan to Ratchan Ravindra, that shorter deliveries. Got out a couple of times at the World Cup in India 2023, where because he's so good at getting forward, is that sometimes he can have that extension of that front leg, so it's quite hard for him to be able to get back, and I guess the boundaries are pretty short behind the bowler. But that might be another option. You say, okay, in terms of the runs, New Zealand are probably going to win, but in terms of if they can pick up a couple of wickets here, gives them a sniff, Bangladesh. I guess you just go, what's something different that maybe a batter's not necessarily expecting to do? He just looks like he's in his rhythm and his flow.
Yeah, and just to put into context how important this game is, if New Zealand win, that is it. That is it in this group, apart from who comes top and who comes second. Pakistan, the hosts, out. Bangladesh, out. And the last game will be New Zealand against India to determine who comes top of the group. "30 overs gone, 151 for 3.
Try Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash. 3 super ingredients, 1 single dose. ये है 24/7 radiance का super formula. Golden Pearl White Beauty Face Wash. Love your skin.
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप।
हर मैदान हमारा मैदान है। इस मैदान में जीत की लगन और मुसलसल जिद्दोजहद ही हमारी कामयाबी है। हम हैं फ्रोनस, भर दे उजाला जिंदगी में।
जैज़ के पास हर नीड का हल है। बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
नई स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी
बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गई है भाई।
कितनी?
न्यू स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
But you have to have the firepower to make it happen. I mean, Aaron Finch will know, a great man in Shane Warne or whatever, he always believed from any situation, give me the ball, I'll bowl us to victory. You've got to have that X factor to bowl you to victory. Captain is only as good as his bowling attack.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And in the situation now, required rate is under 4.5. So they have to try and force New Zealand to make a mistake. And with how easy this partnership has been, it's now up to 82 from 88 deliveries. They haven't had to take a risk at all. They haven't had to search for a boundary. They've been gifted a boundary too regularly. So maybe it is going back to your 2-strike quicks. Bring deep point up. Get a slip in place. And you say, right, we're going to come at you for 2 overs. We're going to be short. We're going to be aggressive. take it on, but we've got a couple of fielders back. If you're prepared to hit it over them, no problem.
Quick on that back cut, and that's not a long boundary in that direction. That's 4 more.
It's just another ball that Rachin Ravindra hasn't had to search. Beautiful footwork, gets him into position. He can decide where he hits this. We've seen him blast it past cover a few times. This time he just uses the pace, uses the height of Rashad. He's able to just knock it behind point. There's a huge gap. It's great batting. It shows an ability to not have to overhit.
He sort of turned to that toppy, hasn't he, against the left-handers, but because it's pretty much seam up and just skidding on with that extra bounce, it's just perfect delivery for someone like Rachin Ravindra. It's not necessarily close to the stumps to bring that angle as much in.
Yeah, and you'll often see leg spinners these days bowling almost everything scrambled seam because it just doesn't allow the batter to get as much of a read. When you see the seam coming down perfectly like that, it just gives you an extra cue.
Well, that was something we didn't see enough of from Bangladesh. I'm not sure we saw one reverse sweep.
Well, we just didn't see a huge amount of intent through the middle. They were either trying to block it or slog it. Everything was zero risk or ultra high risk.
Now the orthodox sweep, his go-to shot. 160 for 3.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ। आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी। जैज से मिले नॉन स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग की सुपर पावर।
तो अभी जैज की वीकली X+ ऑफर लगाओ और बेफिक्र होकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखो तमाशा पर।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है, खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
Unless you're talking about the options that Bangladesh probably didn't employ as much. It's something that Tom Latham does so well against Pakistan. Just the way that he's able to manipulate his wrists in terms of the ball. All these are good length deliveries. A couple not necessarily in the line that they would have liked, but that shot there, just able to hit in front of square. So he can manipulate all around the ground just by that strong grip, the use of the wrists and hands. And as a bowler, when you have someone bowling at a good length, you say, okay, where am I meant to bowl? Very dominant in terms of that leg-sidedness sweep shots. I always feel like it's a mandatory shot for players these days because you can play it in all conditions in all countries as well.
Yeah, and what it does for a captain is it's an absolute headache because you see there he's not very strong, or he hasn't scored heavily behind point on the offside, but he's also got the reverse sweep in his locker as well. So as soon as you start trying to defend one part, he's got options everywhere else, and that's the modern player now. The amount of guys that play ramps and reverse ramps, sweeps, reverse sweeps, just accesses different pockets of the ground that's so hard to defend, particularly with only 4 fielders out.
Katie, why do you think wicketkeepers are generally very good players at spin and sweeping? We've seen obviously Latham here, Alex Carey, brilliant sweeper all round really. Do you think it's because you're there all the time as Latham's at the top of the tree as far as runs with sweeps? Rizwan a keeper, sweeping away. Mendes, is it because you're there squatting, picking up length all the time as a keeper, or it's just the way it is?
Yeah, I think it is that. But as a wicketkeeper, you track the ball off the ground, and especially when you're standing up to spin, you track the ball from when it bounces and when it hits you into the glove. So and then you're able to pick up the cues that happen off the wicket as well. So you might go, okay, that's an area where it might skid on a little bit more, that's an might hold, and you make those assessments as a wicketkeeper of saying you have to track the ball off the wicket, and then you understand the variation that happens when it actually pitches as well. So sometimes if you, especially in a chase, you have more of cues around what shots you can and can't play. You just learn, you just pick it up. So because you track it off the wicket, it allows you to be able to pick up that length quicker. You have a lot more time. You just understand any variation. So I think that's why, especially pulls and cuts as well, that wicket keepers are good at, because you track it off the bounce. You pick up so much information as early as you can. What's happening straight out of the hand, you already know, okay, is that a variation? What's the pace? Have they rolled their fingers over it? So that's your first thing. Then you look at what happens in terms of where it pitches, what it does off. So for me, that's why I think it's easier for a keeper to be able to play square of the wicket, because of those cues you pick up out of the hand and off the wicket and tracking it.
Good solid block from Latham. He looks in good touch now. 164 for 3.
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इनवेरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
Wow, did that carry? I think it did. The reaction, Mehidy at backward point. Did he get his fingers underneath it?
I think he did. It went quick and it went low, and he's in there quite tight, looking for any kind of mistake. Ratchin looking to get down the wicket. Yeah, absolutely, it's a chance. It's a tough one, because at times you can be worried about your fingers jamming, but you've got to take those. That's the second chance they've missed off Ratchin tonight.
That's a good pick-up. They get the buzzer, get the overthrow.
It was a good bit of work at mid-wicket. Picks up and throws in one motion. There's no one backing up. Can often happen at times when you do release the ball so quick. Fielders can be flat-footed. Just 1%ers like that Bangladesh just need to be better at. It's a good short ball. He's been impressive tonight, Rana. He's bowled quick. Like you said, Nass, he got the big wicket of Kane Williamson early. There was plenty of movement. Swung the ball away from the left-handers. For a young guy to come in and have such an impact early, it's been impressive to see.
Big crowd in here today, but a few have come in, and quite a few Pakistan fans have come in wearing Bangladesh shirts for obvious reasons.
Well, you missed the one New Zealand shirt in there. Come on, Nats.
Just a reminder how important this game is. I mentioned about Pakistan and their fans. The loss last night, that big game in Dubai against India, they are right at the bottom. So if New Zealand win, that is it. 4 points, 4 points. Both Bangladesh and Pakistan will only have one game left. They play here in a couple of days' time, and they won't be able to catch the top two. Good again from Rana.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है, खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
Wow, very impressive play. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
New stronger Pepsi.
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
जब जब तुम्हें लगता है कहानी खत्म हो रही है, कहानी वहीं से तो शुरू होती है। Grown Extreme, take a fresh start.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
ब्यूटी क्रीम, बात बन जाए।
रुको, छू जाती है हर अच्छी बात, चल मेरे लाल। जैसा कोई मेरी जिंदगी में आए तो बात बन जाए।
गोल्डन पर्ल ब्यूटी क्रीम, बात बन जाए।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई Zong ऐप थ्रू माइको।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
Wow, very impressive play. Service Tires is a game changer. Service Tires, Pakistan's global tire brand.
New stronger Pepsi.
There's been a little bit of good fortune on the odd occasion. Been littered with some fine strokes though as well. That one past the outside edge. Good evening, Matthew Hayden at Ali Khan.
Good evening, Julie. Good evening, all. Yes, they need a wicket. They need desperately a wicket at this stage of the game. A couple of deliveries in this over has gone past, but yeah, you need a little bit of luck also, because if you look at the innings that Rachin Ravindra has played, he's got away with shots while you're trying to play. Remember that back of the bat which flew over the top of the keeper's head, the run-out opportunity, and also that sweep shot where he lost his footing, fell way in front of the fielder at deep mid-wicket.
It's been good though, been really good. He's canted along. That would have been a great day for New Zealand. Would have been partying in the streets, Dills, in that match that you were talking about before. Shot. He is in full flight. I dare say it when he gets 100 here, 100 here. You'll see some fireworks start to happen. He's such a good player. All round the plays, played cover drives. Hasn't come downtown a lot. He's decided to stay back in his crease against all spinners, and now the sweep shot's starting to come in.
Just the one. Having the cool, calm nature of Tom Latham at the other end, I think, key throughout as well. And he's looked pretty composed. He was sublime with that 118 against Pakistan in the opening game. No run there, don't run them out. 34 gone, they might get one now. There you go, we'll take an easy one instead. Just a little overthrow. Still got to get in your crease. Now it's 34 over.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है, खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इन्वेरेक्स। इन्वेरेक्स, मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है, खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
No hit runner. 3 to go for the young man. Oh, it's just pitched outside, I think. It's just pitched outside. I think he knows it.
And just a wonderful, wonderful partnership. Remember, they were 3 down for 72, and these two got in together. And, initially, just wanted to just bat through. Now it is turning out to be a match-winning partnership.
That was fine for 4. 100 partnership up with that boundary.
You can see the intention. Trying to get inside the eye line of Latham. It's a fine line, isn't it? Talk about that luck. Just a little ill-directed. Wants to go at those stumps. He's got raw pace. That's 147 kilometres per hour. That's rapid.
Just 113 deliveries as well, so contribution wise Rachin Ravindra has been dictating terms, but it takes two. Push for two here. Ravindra decides against it. I think rightly so, with ball in hand. Just been told off here is Mehidy Rana. A warning, I think, for running down the pitch after delivering that ball to Tom Latham. Conway Damasena just having a quiet word to the young man. Eases it past the man behind point. He does love an ICC men's event, does Rachin Ravindra. 300s in the men's 50 over World Cup just a couple of years ago, and now 100 in the men's ICC Champions Trophy, his fourth overall. A match-defining one from New Zealand's point of view, perhaps.
Well, he had to sit and watch the destruction of Pakistan in Karachi, out with a concussion injury, but chomping at the bit to play, and it's been magnificent.
Stayed down a little bit, 6 from the over, 177 for 3.
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, ज़ेन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इनवेरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, ज़ेन में आओ।
He is a special talent. Plays the ball with such ease, and they appreciate everything that he's done today. Slightly different role, having to fill the number 4 role for Daryl Mitchell today, who's hopefully feeling a little better back in the hotel room. Daryl. Finally sweat from Latham. And down with a stomach bug. Missed today's game, so Ravindra came into the middle order. I think he would have come into the top of the order anyway. Would have been a decision to leave either Conway or Will Young out had Mitchell been okay.
And now? Do you only put your selection hat on?
It's the same thing now, isn't it? Still a conundrum.
You mentioned it before, though, great problems to have. Competitions within your own team can often be the difference between good and great. And you'd have to say the way that New Zealand are shaping up in this tournament, they're going to be really hard to beat. Maybe their only weakness, if you were to pick one, is the death bowling, those final 10. Who's going to fill that role? Otherwise, they look so strong defensively as a fielding unit. Brilliant. Batting to have form players, already 300s in this tournament combined. And just the 2 matches that they've played, so they're covering all bases. Got spin covered. I think they've got a good one as well in Santner as a captain. Their ground fielding in the inner circle, that's an important factor.
And to be able to recover after losing those early 2 wickets, remember Bangladesh did pick up those early 2 wickets, and then they picked the 3rd one. But since then nothing much. It just shows the grit and determination, how they feel in these conditions. They just look aside, which has a feel-good fact.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इनवेरेक्स। मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
But well, receive some high quality from these two left-handers.
One other question, Simon Dewar, for you is, are they almost over-prepared, New Zealand, in these conditions? They've been here for a month.
Let's find the gap on the leg side with the sweep shot. Are you meaning that they'd then have to go to Dubai and face India in completely different conditions?
Yeah, exactly. Just thinking ahead, as they most certainly going to progress to that stage, is how quickly can they adjust in a huge match. Dice is well and truly loaded. The Indian fans will be certainly there in force, as they always are and should be. Also a world-class side. But yes, will they, on those conditions, which will most definitely turn a bit more, as we've seen, a bit slower than maybe Pakistan?
Well, if they qualified, obviously, with a win tonight, that game has no bearing, because the semi-final that New Zealand play will be in Pakistan. So it would serve them a lot of good in preparation for the final. So we know that India's semi-final will be in Dubai, and the two teams from the same group that qualify can't play against each other. So from that point of view, I don't think it's a bad thing. They get to play a game in those conditions. If India happen to win their semi-final, obviously the final will still be in Dubai, so if New Zealand win theirs, they get to go back there. We'll have a little bit of familiarity about it. So from that point of view, I'm not saying the result doesn't matter, because every result does matter. And you want to continue trend. But they will have an opportunity to play there prior to the final, if they do happen to get that far. Pakistan, Bangladesh, 27th here, back in Rawalpindi, and then the 2nd of March for that New Zealand-India game.
Well, what they're doing is controlling the tempo of their performances. Everything they're doing is doing well.
Finds the man, but 8 runs from the over nonetheless. 191 for 3.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
न्यू स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
And now dropped. Speaking of good fortune, there's a little bit more.
Mahmudullah should have taken it. Pretty easy chance there. And you talk about those chances, and if you don't hold on to grab those chances, then you really can't expect to defend this total, which Bangladesh made in the end, 236. So another one goes down. And then you look at what New Zealand did in the field. It was brilliant. Makes such a big difference. Yes, they've been very good with the ball and the bat, but they must have stopped at least, 15, 20 runs, even more, in the field. 181 dots when Bangladesh batted. Just says how good they have been in the field. Yes, the bowlers won the money, yes, but they did not give any chance for the batters to even rotate strike. They were simply brilliant. Bangladesh, sloppy.
Yeah, well, New Zealand are fantastic. In the field in particular, the way that they squeeze that inner circle, nothing really gets out to the outer area of the ground. Just shutting down plays, taking good catches, building momentum. And as this tournament progresses, so too does everything tighten. The margins for error. A good catch, a completed run out, and you're a step in the right direction towards the Champions Trophy. Talking of which, I think we will be talking about that catch for a number of years. That was an absolute beauty. He rated it 6th, Simon Dewell. And Mel Jones asked him to take him through his best 5.
Did he rattle him off?
I don't think there was time.
Slower ball attempted, but got away from Mustafizur. But do keep stats for everything nowadays. Just a reminder of how good this was. Bowling of O'Rourke was behind him. Completely behind him to his left hand. The eyes, look at the eyes, they go with it the whole way. Simply brilliant. So the stats tell me that, yeah, enjoy it, smile Glenn, smile. 26 times on average every game he fields the ball, touches the ball. Carved away, backward a point for 4.
Yeah, a little bit of luck, but it's been a masterclass. Similar sort of foot movement, loves that forward press and then goes even further into the ball. Zero fear of bounce on this track. I know Australia and South Africa will be sitting back and watching the kind of lines and lengths that have been bowled on this wicket. It's been a little slow, but I feel that should New Zealand have been set a total of 300 even, probably would have been a possibility. I think it's a better wicket than what Bangladesh showed, and they're just cruising at home here in New Zealand. It's the end of the 38th. Even 200's up for the loss of 3.
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
जैज़ के पास हर नीड का हल है। बस *699# मिलाओ और अपने लिए खास बनाए हुए पैकेज को अपनी सुपर पावर बनाओ।
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
They managed to get the job done.
Yeah, we speak about this partnership and this innings from Rachin Ravindra, but what about that bowling spell from Bracewell? Figures of 4 for 26 and 10 overs that he bowled, and those 4 wickets of Tanzil Hassan Tamim, who opened the batting. There was Ridoy, who scored 100 the other day. He also got rid of Mushfiqur Rahim and Mahmudullah. So very important wickets.
High, but not long enough. Chance taken. Good catch out in the deep on the boundary. Substitute fielder on, I think that is. Parvez Hussain, I think that is on as the substitute. It's the end of a fantastic innings from Rachin Ravindra.
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, ज़ेन में आओ।
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
नई स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी
बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गई है भाई।
कितनी?
न्यू स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, ज़ेन में आओ।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
The number he does, generally 5 and 6 throughout his career. Average close to 40 and strike it over 100. Pretty good start. Your international career.
Yeah, the damage was already done. He wanted to hit this out of the ground, didn't really get underneath it. Went way up in the sky, and the substitute fielder does the rest. Parvez Hussain Imon. What a knock, important knock to ensure New Zealand go and grab these important points and qualify for the semi-finals.
And a pinch one and a 26th half century in one-day internationals for New Zealand's wicketkeeper batter Tom Latham. Controlled things nicely with Rachin Ravindra. Now he's picked up 50, 150 in his last 3 innings.
Yeah, great tempo. He was magnificent against Pakistan. Came in at an absolute gallop. These two will run the pants off Bangladesh here.
Talk about turning things around. Prior to the 50 in the last game of the tri-series, he was 1-0-0, and he's gone 50, 100, 50. push for two, and he'll go, I think, Glenn Phillips, with ease.
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका कोला यकीन की जीत है।
जैज से मिले नॉन स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग के सुपर पावर।
तो अभी जैज की वीकली X+ ऑफर लगाओ और बेफिक्र होकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखो तमाशा पर।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट on my Zong.
Good again tonight. Very responsible. Cool, calm head, even when New Zealand had a couple of hiccups to begin with. Once Latham hits form, he usually stays in form for quite some time. It's a good sign from New Zealand going forward.
Yeah, and this is his 50 package. He's played brilliantly. I think batting at the top of the order in Test cricket, the foundation of a beautiful technique helps. He's the ideal man to come in on the back of some wickets. Plays both sides of the ground. Nice in defence. Very good player of spin. And just that calming influence. The ability to bat with Ratchin.
He's always been a leader, Tom Latham, even when he came into the side as a young player. You get to watch them develop as people as well as players. He's always been a leader. And leaders accept responsibility, and that's pretty much what he's done today again.
He seems like the kind of guy that's not fazed with playing second fiddle. The modern player, everyone wants the glory, don't they? When someone's going well at the other end, you want to keep up with them. He's happy to play his role continually. Just find a way to get the job done. And that is a great sign of somebody who, like you said, Smithy, is a real leader around the group. Being the Test captain, just understanding his role within the side. It's just a fantastic person to have for a situation like tournament play, when emotions can be high. Every game's so crucial. You need those cool heads around your group, and he's certainly one of those.
Well, I suppose for you two, this is just the curtain raiser before the main event, Mel Jones.
Well, there's a few quite excitable Australian commentators the other night with the win over England, but this is huge, isn't it? South Africa certainly looking the goods. All their players back, performing well. And there is quite the rivalry between Australia and South Africa.
So, and you looked at this pitch a couple of times, Mel. If this pitch was tomorrow to play, and it's a different surface similar to this, who would it favour? Would it favour either attack?
It's interesting, the pitch that we're playing on is 2 across at the moment. It's been out of cover for a little bit as we have a look at the lineup for tomorrow. 2 p.m. local time as well. And then when you look at the Australian bowling attack, I thought they were brilliant for the experience they had the other night. But when you look at the South Africans, probably just got the edge there a little bit.
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। Zong Monthly Pro Max Plus लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट on my Zong app through Myco.
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
रुको, छू जाती है हर अच्छी बात, चल मेरे लाल।
Ball's in there with Marnus coming into the attack.
Paidar Messina tells us we're into the 40th now. The tall leg spinner, Richard to bowl it.
Oh, save it, Shanto.
You should look at the side and you look at it on paper, that matchup tomorrow. I know this game's not over, but I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. And you wonder, you look at it on paper and you think player for player, but then you look at the mental side. We've got an injury actually out there at the moment, so we've got a chance to talk about this. Then you look at Australia versus South Africa in the mind.
Yeah, they're two different games, aren't they? And so often in tournament-style cricket, it comes down to small moments in games, small moments in tournaments. And tomorrow's a huge game for that. Obviously, both teams started off fantastically well in the tournament, but one slip-up, you're still vulnerable. So it's as good as a knockout game still. So Australia having the wood on South Africa historically in tournament play, and net run rate's fantastic, and that'll be something that will come into play, no doubt. England, you'd expect them to bounce back against Afghanistan. Australia have had their moments against Afghanistan recently too. You think back to the 2023 World Cup. Australia 7 for 91, and it took a Glenn Maxwell gem. They got beaten in the T20 World Cup last year in St Vincent. So the next two, well, all the games are important in this group. If it comes down to the last game between South Africa and England, it's just a brilliant tournament, because there is very, very few games that are dead rubbers.
Well, interesting, just looking at the game after that, which is Afghanistan-England, and news coming out of the England camp right now is that Bryden Cast is out. And Rehan Ahmed, leg spinner, comes in for him. So not like for like, a leg spinner for decent quick bowler too. He is a good all-rounder.
When you look at how the pitches have played, they probably haven't spun as much just yet. But getting to the business end of the tournament, and you think potentially having to play a final or a semi-final in Dubai where the wicket has turned, having the option of the extra spinner in your squad. Australia have got Tanveer Sangha as an extra frontline spinner. South Africa have got Shamsi. So there's plenty of options there.
Glenn Phillips has got a problem. It's when he first starts against spin, he tends to play full-length deliveries off the back foot. And that's a full-length delivery, and it's very, very hard to hit square of the wicket when you first come to the crease. Again, he's going to get stuck on his crease or even behind his crease line to foolish deliveries. You're going to play off the pitch surface.
And I like this from Phillips too, because he just took himself away, had a little stroll just backward of square leg, and that's the time in which he's going to take now, just to readjust his thoughts here on how to attack. Speaking of attacking, Bangladesh are doing that second slip and play.
That is 1,000 runs in one-day international cricket for Glenn Phillips, and not a boring one amongst them.
Runs, wickets, catches. He's the complete all-rounder, isn't he? And when he runs, he really does run. I can remember that T20 World Cup where he was down in the sprinting start at the non-strikers end, trying to make sure that he can get out of the blocks as quickly as possible. He's always trying to think about different ways of playing the game.
I needed him in 2019, Smithy.
It's just a pup back then. What we didn't need is you constantly reminding us of 2019.
Shut up.
And of course, on this side of the draw, if New Zealand do get home here, 26 from 55, you think that they would. It doesn't matter who finishes top in this group because India play in Dubai anyway, the semi-final. They play on a surface they're really getting used to. But for the other group,
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
गोल्डन ब्राउन ब्यूटी क्रीम, बात बन जाए।
सिंजेंटा इस अभियान दे फसल को फौरी तवानाई और ग़िज़ाइयत। इस अभियान है जादू का चिराग।
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
Introduced the first innings. This is him going about his business. Wonderful support in the field. That's something we've spoken about in New Zealand time and time again. That was Williamson taking a handy catch. Bracewell himself took a pretty handy catch as well. Most importantly, the fourfer. Best return for a New Zealand spinner in Champions Trophy history.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Like you said, Smithy, to bowl 10 overs straight in the modern game is unheard of. There's the fantasy game, Ratchin, brilliant 100. Such a class innings. Didn't put a foot wrong.
Well, this will be New Zealand's 5th win in a row on Pakistan soil if they get there. And that hasn't happened very often in the past, I can promise you.
No, it's rare for teams to go to such foreign conditions and have so much success, and I think that's why they've started off this tournament so well. They spent time in the country, they got acclimatised, they got used to the wickets, they understood what they were coming up against. Phillips pushes for 2 but decides against it, and that can be such a hard thing to sell in the modern game as well, because players, they want to come into tournaments late, they want to spend more time at home, but to come here and play a tri-series and start to formulate what your best 11 looks like. So often a team will get to a tournament and still be unsure of their best 11, what combination they're going to play. Are they going to play 7 batters, or are they going to go with an all-rounder? How many spinners are they going to play? But they look like they've come here with a really clear plan.
Well, that's just stealing a run, that. Absolutely stealing one. I don't even think this is close.
We have an umpire review for a run out at the bowler's end. Yeah, freeze it there. I've got no bat behind the line. Yeah, I'm ready to make my decision.
Shows what I know. He almost stole one. Almost stole one, Tom Latham. Got through to mid-on very quickly, and credit to the fielder there who was...
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
आ गई और छा गई नेशनल की कराची खास बम्बे बिरयानी, कराची की सबसे बेस्ट बिरयानी।
ये जो मच्छर की आवाज है खतरे का साज है।
किंग टॉक्स घर में लाजमी रखें। किंग टॉक्स छोड़ेगा नहीं, मारेगा चुन चुन के।
जब बात हो अपने प्यारों की जिंदगी में रोशनी लाने की, तो फिर मेरा इंतखाब है पाकिस्तान की मोस्ट रिलायबल सोलर कंपनी इन्वेरेक्स। इन्वेरेक्स, मेरा एतमाद, मेरी रिकमेंडेशन।
इस मोमेंट को अपना बनाओ, जिन में आओ।
मैजिक सिर्फ तब हो जब साथ सब हो। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
जैसा कोई मेरी जिंदगी में आए तो बात बन जाए। गोल्डन पर्ल ब्यूटी क्रीम, बात बन जाए।
कोक उठाओ, स्कैन करो, कोड के साथ डिटेल्स व्हाट्सएप करो और फ्री मैच टिकट्स या ढेरों को प्राइजेस जीतने का मौका पाओ। कोका कोला, यकीन की जीत है।
इस क्रिकेट सीजन मैच के दौरान लाइट जाने पर अपने टीवी को तोड़ने से गुरेज करें। जोंग मंथली प्रो मैक्स प्लस लगाएं और देखें फ्री क्रिकेट ऑन माई जोंग ऐप थ्रू माइको।
Just hit it a little bit too firm. Had a quick look and then took off, but nice bit of work from Mamadullah. Can't get much closer than that. One frame in it. You often see the direct hit makes such a huge difference. He's been around forever.
Nice change of pace. To end the over, it is 214.
क्रिकेट का कप आए ना आए, टपाल दानेदार का कप तो आएगा ही आएगा। चलती रहे टपाल दानेदार, तुम मैं एक और कप चाय।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करें शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
And what we've seen from Rana, the young speedster today, has been most incredible.
But it's a case of what could have been for Bangladesh. They dropped Rachin Ravindra early, missed run. You add that to a decent start. They had New Zealand 2 down for 15.
Good boy, good, good.
You can see the wicket hasn't got easier as the night's gone on. Started to slow up.
Right on.
You know, I think if they're really honest with themselves, they might think they denied themselves 30-odd runs batting with a lack of intent, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%, 181 dot balls. So tick over 60% of those deliveries, and you think you change that by 10%. It's a completely different story, isn't it?
It was a bit of the game awareness for me. Saw the middle order come in against spin, and majority of the time it's spinning into the bat. But they were dead batting it. They weren't looking to get off strike. They were looking defensive first. And then they went for the big shot and got out.
Straight is good. Straight is very good when you get it that well.
Beautiful strike, Glenn Phillips. Just slightly over pitch. Mid-on was inside the circle, so it encouraged him to take on the straight boundary. Just going through the line. He's strong. Doesn't have to overhit it. Just finds the middle of the bat. That's flat and that's 6.
was chatting to him before the game about all his other activities, and he loves his archery, but running archery, so he'll be going through the woods and hiking, and that you sort of hit different targets at different stages. It just reminded me of that. Just pull it back, release.
What?
That sounds like a nightmare.
Which part? The running, the archery, the...
Smithy and I aren't cut out for that.
You want to put an apple on your head later, Princey? I'll have a crack. It is 2:23 for 5. There are 14 runs needed.
बेस्ट एंड जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप। जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना, शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप हिलाना मस्त है।
Golden Pearl Sunblock block करे harmful UV rays को, also protects your skin from all digital blue light. Golden Pearl Sunblock. Let's go. Love your skin.
पाकिस्तान के जदीद तरीन प्लांट पर बनी खादें, सरसब्ज की नाइट्रोफॉस और कैन, जिनसे मिले 10% से भी ज्यादा इजाफी पैदावार।
सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन में है 5 नेचुरल ऑयल्स के साथ विटामिन ई का सुपर मिक्स। अब बाल करी शाइन ऑल द टाइम विद सनसिल्क ब्लैक शाइन।
नई स्ट्रॉन्गर पेप्सी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गई है भाई। कितनी?
New, stronger Pepsi.
This has been just one big partnership. That's what you need. And New Zealand have found it with Latham and Rich and Ravindra.
I like the career of Michael Bracewell too, because he didn't come through into international cricket as a youngster bursting onto the scenes. He plied his trade quite a bit. Domestic cricket, but just having a look at the wheels there of the buggy, just making sure if there's any dew being picked up, and it looks pretty clear, that's for sure. So ground sprayed earlier today, that certainly worked.
Right on. Yes.
And Finch, just picking up on your comment about coming over for the Triton series as well. You also look at the amount of games that New Zealand's played in Pakistan over the last 3 years, and they've played the most amount. So there's been almost you'd say like a long-term plan. You sort of look ahead as a coach, and you're sort of thinking, right, what are the big tournaments that we've got coming up? Champions Trophy's back in the schedule. It's in Pakistan. How do we give ourselves the best opportunity?
Been a rich man. What did we say earlier in the day? 1,000 rupees for every time there was a stoppage behind the bowler's arm.
No!
There's a light in the sight screen that's flickering on and off. There's an automated sight screen which when they're bowling from the other end flashes up with the advertisements, but it's just a little bit of a malfunction down the bottom left corner, which is annoying Glenn Phillips. He's just asked Michael Bracewell to stand over in front of it.
Well, he's in black. It's perfect. I like that. That's just finding a way, isn't it? Don't get annoyed by it. Just find a solution and get on with things.
There tomorrow, I can guarantee one player in the world who will not let that go. Stephen Smith. He notices a guy walking on the street outside the ground. If it happens to be behind the side screen, he'll know.
Bit of pace there, bit of bounce, no trouble, Glenn Phillips.
so impressive tonight. That's well and truly done him for pace. Yep, ring out the hand, they hurt. Sometimes the finger can just get jammed on the bat handle. It's not the impact as much as it is the compression.
That'll find a gap. That was beautifully placed. Finally got one, Glenn Phillips. And we're down to 9 to win.
Vatika Onion Shampoo, जिसके हर ड्रॉप में है भरी नरिशिंग ऑयल्स और नेचुरल इंग्रेडिएंट्स की गुडनेस। वाटिका शैम्पू, ऑयल वाला शैम्पू।
जूसी टोमेटो से बना शंग्रीला टोमेटो केचप, जब भी हो फ्लेवर्स की हैप्पीनेस को बढ़ाना।
They'll get 2 here as well.